Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Just a Geeky Dad, a place where I like to geek out about board games. And today we are geeking out about Cyberpunk 2077, the board game by Go On Board that's currently over on GameFound. Now this is a demo copy that I have, so I can't show you everything that this game has to offer, so make sure you go follow the campaign to see everything that comes with this game. In this video, I'll give you an overview about how this game plays, my thoughts and opinions, so you can judge if this is a game that you want to get. So, first things first, this is a scenario-based game. So, as you are playing this game, you're going to be setting up different scenarios, and each scenario will have a different win condition. In this example, I have a two-player setup where I'm playing through Prologue 3.1. Now, the game does an excellent job teaching you all the mechanics, starting with the first Prologue mission, and Prologue 3 is really where they combine everything that this game is going to show you and all the mechanics. The other two prologues before this will just slowly introduce how combat works, how to gain cards, how to gain skills, things like that. And Prologue 3 is kind of where everything kind of gets all combined into one and what you can expect going forward in the game. This scenario requires us to complete the main mission, which is listed here on the prologue card. So we must be able to do all these in order to win, and if we do that in this example, we are going to be able to go to Prologue 3.2, and we need to complete that as well if you want to complete the full mission. Now, I have another example here, Prologue 2, where it's only one main objective that we need to complete, and then that would end. So there's different ways to win. Sometimes missions can go on longer than others, but for this example, I'm only going to really cover 3.1 and how the game functions. So I have the main game board set up here. There's going to be enemies on the board that spawn on certain icons on the game board. That is included during the setup. I am playing as V and Jackie today. I'll move him over here. I just didn't grab his dice. His dice are right here. Okay, and we are ready to begin. So first things first, you get the app, and it does an excellent job setting you up. I'm just going to hit continue because I'm on now Prologue 3. I'm going to hit continue. I'm going to choose 2 players. Hit continue. And then I'll select the characters that I'm playing as, V and Jackie. Hit continue. And then the app will go through a narrative describing the mission and so on and so forth. I'm just going to hit continue so I don't spoil any of that narrative experience for you. And then when I'm ready, I can hit start missions. So in this game, we're going to have to move and kill these enemies and pick up loot along the way. Before the main app process starts, it is time to discuss whether or not who should go where. Should you split up? Should you stick together? And it is probably best to split up because there's a lot of things you need to do in order to complete the mission, and you don't really have a lot of time to do so. So if I take a look at the prologue, I need to take down the sniper. So I need to spend 2 attack while I'm on C. So this is the spot C location, so I need to spend 2 attack on that. So that means I need to play a red card, and I'll just use this as an example, that has 2 damage icons. That's what that means on that spot, and I can complete that objective. Now, when you complete objectives, you earn different awards, and I'll explain that when that happens. I also need to check the supplies, which means I need to go to location D, which is right here, and I need to take cover and discard at least 1 blue card while on D. So take cover is an action where you can discard your full hand and draw a new hand of cards. Now when I take that action, I need to be on D, and I need to have at least 1 blue card in my hand when I do that. Open the gate, spend a booster on A when another player is on B. So that's going to be a little bit tricky. So one player needs to be here and spend their booster. Hang on, I guess I didn't give Jackie a booster, so that's what a booster looks like. Everyone always starts off with 1 at the beginning of the game, and they give you like a free action to do once per game. So 1 person needs to be on A, 1 person needs to be on B, okay? And you can do this pretty much in any order, but all this has to be completed before we move on. Now this one's a little bit more complicated than the other prologues, but I'll do my best to kind of show you how the game functions. So whenever you complete an objective, you will gain the awards, which these are extra skills, which I'll explain how they work. And there's also some side missions which could get us more advanced weapons. I'll explain that if I get to that. But right now, let's just dive in and show you kind of how movement works. So I'm going to hit start, and the game's going to start right away. As soon as that happens, you draw 4 cards and start going. So I'm going to draw my 4 cards now because I'm playing as 2 players right now. So I drew my 4 cards, and each character has their very own unique deck of starting cards. So I'll just leave Jackie's there, and I'll start off as V. So I think we're going to go and focus on, let's see, I need to probably go to B and A is probably the way I would like to go. Let me fix some of these doors here. So we can go this way, and then split up and go that way. Oh, and I forgot to explain these crafting cards. These are cards that allow you to do extra bonuses, abilities during the games, but you have to craft them first. I'll explain how that works as we go. I just had to put these cubes on there first. Now that that is done, let's start. And V's going to go first. We're going to focus on this bottom one where someone's on B and someone's on A, and we're both going to go this way. Okay? So we're going to just hit start mission. And I'm going to pause because the music is going to be loud, but just to explain, I'm going to be pausing a lot. So I'm going to hit start mission. It's going to count down to 3, and then we're going to begin. Alright, so V's going to go first. He's going to move. And I'm going to do this card, and he's going to move. Now, I'm just going to pause. To explain how this works is every card has different rows. In order to activate the row that you want to use, you need to have that many skills based off your player board. So I can only use the top red row because I only have 1 red in that slot. And you can activate both of them, and you can use them in any order that you want. And then I will draw a card, and then I will say go, and then it's Jackie's turn. Okay, I'm going to just hit resume. Pick up the right deck of cards. Then Jackie's going to play this yellow card, and he's going to move. And this yellow symbol means he can open up a door or craft, but I'll explain that. He's going to open up this door. Okay, and then he draws a card and yells go. Now it is V's turn. So V's going to place down a blue card. He's going to now move over here, and he's going to heal because blue means heal, and this is where your health track is. And he's going to draw a card and yell go. Jackie's then going to take his next turn, and he is going to also play a blue card, and he's going to move into here, gain this loot, and heal 1. He's going to draw a card and say go. Okay, he's going to just gain some RAM, which will allow me to use a quick hack. I'm just going to pause. And so you guys kind of get the basic idea of how movement works. Now I'm just going to show you what happens when you go into combat. So let's say I played enough cards where I'm able to move, and I get into combat. So let's say V moved into here. He played a yellow card to open this door. You then discard the door icon. You are now in combat with an enemy. Now, in order to kill this enemy, you need to deal enough damage. All guards start at 5 health. So let's say I got there this round. I'll hit continue. I only have so many rounds before I'm able to kill him. But as soon as you're in line of sight with them, you can start attacking them, because they'll attack you too. So let's say I ended my turn. It is now Jackie's turn. I'm going to hit go, and then Jackie's going to go. Then I'm going to show you what happens. Where's Jackie's cards? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just say that's Jackie's cards. So Jackie does not have any cards to open doors, but he can play this card to move, get that loot, which will show after, and then he can heal 1. Blue cards are typically heal. Green cards help you gain RAM, which lets you use your quick hacks, which I'll explain that in just a moment. Yellow cards help you open doors, and they also help you craft these cards here, which let you do an extra ability. And those different abilities can be different things. So I'll explain that right after this round ends. Okay, so Jackie's now done. Now V is in combat, and this is the stressful part because you're trying to kill him in as quick as possible. So he's got 5 health. I'm at 3 health, and the first thing that happens is I need to play a card. So I'm going to play this card, which deals 1 damage. So he's down to 4. Then I need to roll these dice. And I really got a bad roll. This symbol means I lose all my health, and I miss, so he doesn't take any extra damage. So I'm in trouble. So then Jackie will go, and Jackie will do his turn. Let's just say he did something, and open the door or something. Then V will go, and I am honestly going to move and heal. So I'm in no longer line of sight. So I don't roll a dice because I can't attack him. And the round is now over. But that's how combat works. You have to kind of be in line of sight with an enemy in order to kill them. And if you ever move into the exact space of an enemy, you automatically take 1 damage. Now, if I were to be killed there, let's say I'm at 0 health, and I took another damage by, let's say, rolling the dice and getting a damage symbol, which is one of these symbols here, I would then gain a wound card. Now, every player starts off with 3 wound cards, and then anytime I would gain a wound card and there's not one to gain, I would then die and we would lose the mission because this is a cooperative game. So when a player dies, you lose the mission and you have to start over again. Or depending on the mission, you might read a card that says, hey, if you failed, do this, and to make the game a little bit easier, or something like that, along those lines. So that's how kind of movement combat works, how healing works. Now, RAM is also something that players are going to be doing to help use their quick hack cards. Now, every player has a quick hack card that does something different, and you spend RAM to activate them. For example, V's quick hack card says spend 2 RAM, and any other player doesn't have to roll the enemy dice, which is this black dice here. If I spend 3 when I'm attacking, I don't have to roll the enemy dice. There's no penalty for running away from guards if you can do so. It just probably takes longer to complete objective. So you can see how fast the game is, especially with that timer. I only had like 2 minutes to try to do something. I got only to this point in time. I'll explain these crafting cards now because this is something else you can do during the round. You can spend yellow cards or just spend these symbols to slowly take off one of these cubes off the card. And once you take off all the cubes, you then can use this card and just discard it. So in this one it says gain any color skill that you want. So in this scenario, I might want to gain more blue cards, so I might gain a blue shard. When I do that, I get to just put it there and discard that card. And that's how these kind of card works. Now that can only happen during the round. I can't do it when the round is over, so I have to be acting fast. But let's just put that back and say I didn't do that, but that's what would happen if I do that. But now that the round is over, it's time to see what we've done and discuss and re-strategize on what to do. So V didn't gain any loot, but Jackie did. So the following steps is look at the loot that you gained. So Jackie's going to flip these 2 over, and he gained a blue skill, so he's going to put a blue token there, and then he's going to discard that. He's also got this symbol, which I do believe means gain a booster. Let me just, gain a booster. So he's going to gain another booster that he can use during the game. Okay, just so you guys know what that means. Okay. Next thing is we can, if we searched a corpse, we could search the corpse, but we haven't done that yet. But I'll explain that too. So let's say if we killed a guard, we just take the enemy and put it on our board and just leave it there until the round's over, and then during this action we can say we're going to search a corpse. So if you search this corpse, you take the corpse card deck and then you reveal one, and this will also get you another ability you can use later. So this example says I can roll the T2 dice, which pretty much gets me a better weapon. So let's say I got that weapon. Now when I have combat, I can use this, and this is kind of just like a one-time effect when I use it. Now, another thing will happen is we get to craft new items. So I reveal 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then each player will choose 1 to add to their column. And if you're full, you can always choose to discard 1. So combat's going to be very heavy this round, so I definitely think combat. Yeah, V's probably going to go with health because he almost died. And then Jackie's probably going to do more combat because Jackie's really good at combat. Then you place these back for next round. You can also gain another quick hack during this round if you want. I'm not going to gain any. I kind of like the ones that we start with, so I'm good for now. Now, enemies will move. So enemies will always move closer to the starting tile, which is right here. So this enemy will now move closer here. This enemy will move here because they can't go through walls. This enemy will also go through here because it has to go through this door. And I killed this enemy. Let's just say I did. But maybe not. I'll just put him back because I didn't. He only took 1 damage. So he will then, I was here. He would then move closer to me. Technically you do this from A, B, C, then D. Doesn't really matter, but that's technically the order. And then we look to see if there's any reinforcements. This mission does have reinforcements, so it deploys 1 troop, and it's going to be doing it starting with A, because if you don't complete an objective in that area, that's where they deploy. So this one will deploy here because we have not completed anything in A yet. Next round it will be B, then C, then D, and then back to A if we still haven't completed anything. Another thing I forgot to mention over here, these are legacy cards. Now you can also gain these cards from looting or from completing objectives, and these are just better versions of the cards that you have in your starting deck. They help you do better things. Again, green cards will help you gain RAM, red cards will help you do more damage and hopefully re-roll dice, yellow cards will help you craft and open doors, blue cards are generally good for healing. We are now ready to go into the next round, talk about our strategies, reshuffle our cards back into the deck, and begin again, and again decide who goes first, what's the strategy, and go from there. Okay, now that you guys have a good understanding about kind of how this game goes, let's talk about what happens when you complete an objective. So let's say the game's gone by, I was able, by some miracle, kill these 2 guards, got into A, and Jackie killed this guard, and he got onto B. If we spend a booster while someone's on A and another player's on B, that's what we need to do. So in this case, V's got to spend his booster. So let's say he does it to gain a RAM, because you can choose any one of these actions. I just chose to gain a RAM for the heck of it. When someone's on B, right, we complete that objective. So what that means is then the player that completes the objective will gain the bonus, which are these skill shards. So let's say spend a booster while on A, while the other player's on B. So because the player's on A, they would gain it. And so V's going to gain the orange and the green and increase his skills that way. Now remember, it's very important to increase these skills because when you play cards, the more actions you can do and start to combo things like that. So now that my green and orange are at level 2, I can now look at the second row and activate any of those abilities and all of them in any order. So if I got to play this card, I can open a door and move twice, or move twice, open a door. It doesn't have to be anything specific. I could open a door and move, or I could move, open a door, and then move again, things like that. And if you have more of them, the more things you can do. So these cards become very powerful if you can increase your skills quickly. Very important to upgrade your skills as quickly as possible because you can do more things. Now, if you're able to get better dice, these are good to, think of these as upgrading your body or getting better weapons in the game, because this is what will allow you to do more damage to enemies, things like that. You can even possibly blow a hole in the wall. These are really cool. So if you get, let's see if I can find a crafting card that allows you, that shows you that symbol. I always think this is kind of fun. If you get this symbol from one of your crafting cards and you're able to craft it, it means blow a hole in the wall. So if you think you can't make it somewhere in time, let's say I wanted to get to this room, but I didn't want to go all around here, I could activate this and blow a hole in the wall and move into here if I wanted to do that. So I think that is also really cool that this game offers. I'm able just to bust a hole in the wall if I have the card. So that pretty much covers everything I think that this game can show you. Again, once you complete this objective, then in this case you will flip over to or find Prologue 2 and set up for that map. If there's anything, yeah, you do have to rechange the map a bit. And follow the rules during the setup. So this map will change quite a bit, and then it has new main objectives that you need to complete in order to finish this mission off. Now, it is possible to die very quickly in this game. You can see how my health went from all the way up to 3 to 0 because the enemy rolled a critical, which is this symbol here. And okay, I should turn that off now. Okay, so that's pretty cool. All right, so that's pretty much everything I think I can show you about how this kind of game plays. It's very important to upgrade your skills so you can use your cards more effectively to do the things that you need to do in order to win. But you also don't have a lot of time to go around and collect all these different loots that's available, because that is also another way to gain these skills. Not only by completing objectives, but also gaining loot will help you gain those skills as well. Alright, that is pretty much how this game plays. Again, it's very important to upgrade your skills so you can use your cards more effectively in order to complete those objectives. Now, the way to gain those skills, there's a few different ways to gain them, is by collecting loot, but you don't want to waste too much time running around the board trying to collect loot to upgrade your skills. Because not only are you worrying about all the guards trying to kill you, you also only have so many rounds to complete the objectives in order to win. So if you go around wasting time picking up loot, the chances are that you're not really going to win the scenario. You can also gain shards by crafting, like this card here, so that I can, once this is crafted, I can gain any color shard. So there's a bunch of things always going on while you're playing this game, and it's very time stressful. You're like, how much time do I have left? Oh, I only got a minute. Oh, I got to play this card. I got to do that. Oh, I got to do this. I got to do that. So when you're in that cooldown phase after the time's up, it's very important to talk to your teammates and discuss what you should do. Regroup, recalculate. Is somebody almost dead? You can also trade in this game if you're in range with somebody on the same space, which is cool. Like if they have a better weapon, maybe you want that weapon. Things like that, which is really cool. So there's a lot of elements that you can get from playing from the video game that translates to this, which I think is really great. Also, the narrative element for this game is really awesome because after you complete certain missions, there's different choices you can make, and those choices may affect how the game turns out as well. Now, this demo only offers a little bit of that. You don't really get a good sense of everything that this game has to offer because, again, this is only a demo copy. But I can see this being really great for any Cyberpunk fan. Now, I think Go On Board does really well is the fact that they're able to take a complex theme like Cyberpunk and simplify it for gamers. And not only is it easy to learn because the prologue pretty much teaches you everything that this game has to offer in steps, but there's enough there for seasoned gamers to kind of be like, oh, this is different, this is cool, I haven't seen this mechanic before. I think the closest version of a game like this is probably Project Elite. You have probably heard some other reviewers say that as well, but Project Elite is definitely more chaotic. There's a lot more waves of enemies you're dealing with, not just like a couple of guards. But this game will put your strategizing to the test. You're making quick decisions and thinking on your feet, and you have to use the cards in your hand to the best of your ability. Sometimes you get a card where it's not going to really help you. So there's an action that says take cover, where you can discard your hand and draw a new hand of cards to hopefully get a card that will help you out in that spot. So let's talk about the app now, because I can see a lot of people's issues with the app. They don't want to use an app to keep track of their decisions. They don't want to use it as a timer. What else can you do? So I personally really do like the app that keeps track of my decisions as I play through this game. Obviously, it's going to be a campaign, so it's going to take a while to play through. You're going to be able to discover Night City as you play through this game. Go to different areas at different times. You don't have to play through this one episode at a time. You can choose a different location, then move on to different locations, and maybe some things will change. I don't really know because I haven't experienced that yet. Again, this is just a demo, but it's there. There is a map book that this game offers, which you'll see just says like everything's a work in progress, but you can see you can visit different locations. I don't think you necessarily have to do this in order. You can go to one location before going to the next. Now, I do believe some things will have to take place in order, but you're not stuck just following this one singular path. You can kind of choose the outcome, which I think is going to be great. Is it worth getting this game if you don't like real-time mechanics? Well, personally for me, I feel like that app with the music and the way it keeps track of my decisions and the narrative element that it reads out and you're able to make decisions, I honestly really love that. Now, when it comes to the timer, I do feel like players are not going to enjoy it as much because they're thinking about the timer more than they're thinking about their turn. The timer does have a pause button, so if you're ever feeling stressed out, you can always pause and regroup and think for a moment before playing a card. So I do like that. I'm glad that Go On Board has that option in the app to pause. Don't get too stressed out. Think about your decision before you play a card. So that's there too. So you don't really have to be too stressed out when playing this game. Another way you could go about playing this game is decide if how many rounds is fair enough to complete this objective. You can always house rule it by saying like, oh, all players only get 6 to 7 turns this round to complete an objective. I honestly find myself only playing 6 to 7 cards per round if I'm lucky to complete an objective for that round, if I'm able to complete an objective. So I'm not so stressed out. You can be like, players can take their time. They don't have to worry about it. Take 6 turns, 7 turns if possible. What's also really good about this game, though, when the timer is counting down, if another player says go and another player is able to play a card fast enough, they can complete their turn. It's not just automatic, game over, stop what you're doing. You can finish your turn, and then the round is over. So you can sneak an extra turn in sometimes that way. So in all honesty, what do I think of this game? Well, I honestly did have a blast, and I think this game has a lot of potential. I can't wait to see everything that gets included in this game. I can't wait to see more of Night City and other scenarios of this game. Another thing I really enjoy about this game is definitely going to be the health standees. I wish more companies will supply things like this to keep track of enemies. You can just simply roll it, and you can see how it counts down from 5 down to 1 to 0, and that will kill the enemy. That's a ton of fun. I definitely want to see this more in games. I love that. Simple way to keep track of health. Another thing I don't really like about the game is because the timer is so tight, you're not going to remember to do everything. I always usually forget to spend RAM to activate my quick hacks. I'm getting better at it the more time I play. I'm like, oh, I can do that, or I can do that. But the first couple times I played this game, I always forgot to use my quick hack, use my booster. It was always like a last minute thought. I'm like, oh, I could do that, oh, I could do that. But I'm generally just trying to play cards and focus on combat and get from point A to point B, usually. But that's okay. They're there as an extra action. They're not necessarily there to help you win the game. It can help you win if you need to deal 1 more damage in order to survive. You could be like, oh, I have a booster, I can do that. So next turn you're not rolling dice and hopefully getting hit. But if you are a Cyberpunk fan, I honestly think you're going to enjoy this game. The narrative element brings a lot of that world building into this game, so you're definitely going to enjoy that. If you're into campaign games, this might be one worth giving a shot. It's a little bit different than other campaign games out there. Even after you complete the campaign mode, there's going to be an afterlife mode where you can just set up one-off scenarios to play to enjoy it as well. So, love that idea. Alright, that is my preview and overview of Cyberpunk 2077. I personally enjoy it and can't wait to see everything that this game has to offer. Let me know if you are backing this or if this game is just a miss for you in the comment section down below. And until next time, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.